Good afternoon, sir, and to all the viewers. So my name is Adsan Mayagma Alberio, and we are going to present to you a research proposal entitled The Effectivity of Mobile Communication Network in the Academic Achievement of ECE Students in Negro. So in this presentation, we'll be discussing about the Chapter 1, under the Chapter 1, the problem and its scope, introduction of the study, statement of the problem, significance of the study, scope and limitation of the study, definition of terms, review of related literature and studies, theoretical framework of the study, conceptual framework of the study, and lastly, the research methodology. So, mobile phones have become an everyday commodity for millions of people all over the world and are being used more and more in the most developed and developing countries. With the advent of the information and communication technology era, the world had been reshaped. Everything has become fast-paced. There has been a growing need for telecommunications and internet services. People from all walks of life, including education, want to experience limitless capacity to cross borders in just a few clicks. This study draws from ECE students' articulation of the effectivity of mobile telecommunications network in their online class. This study aims to help understand the nature of mobile communication network. In this study, it seeks to determine the possible connection between the effectivity of MCN or mobile communication network and their academic achievement. Statement of the problem. The emerging of e-learning in the Philippines because of the global pandemic has been made possible through the advancement of telecommunication networks and computer-based communication. The problem of this study is propelled by the need to empirically measure the satisfaction of the ECE students with the service delivered of mobile telecommunication networks while having an online class. The ECE students' outrage over cost, speed, coverage of services provided by MCN in the Philippines. ECE students have different approach in online education regarding with their respective places. ECE students have been switched to distance e-learning faces a lot of challenges. Most is especially in technical difficulty of signals connection. As of Akamai Q3 2016 report, PH has the second lowest fixed-line broadband internet speed in the world. There are so far only 2 network operators in the Philippines, with a third one is just recently started. So particularly, this study aims to answer the following questions. Number 1, what type of mobile communication are commonly used by the ECE students? Number 2, what is the location of their respective place, urban or rural? Number 3, is there a cell tower near in their place? Number 4, does the students encounter interference in signal during online class? Number 5, in terms of the signal strength, what is the Mbps while uploading? And what is the Mbps while downloading? So the significance of the study. This study on the effectivity of mobile telecommunication networks in the learning outcomes of ECE students will benefit the students, the faculty, network provider, the government, researchers, and other researchers. Now let's proceed to the scope and limitation of the study. This study is to determine the effectivity of mobile telecommunication network in the learning outcomes of students in Negros Oriental State University in their online class. The study considers the students' personal information such as place, respondents' semestral GPA before pandemic and during the pandemic. The research sample is composed of Bachelor of Science in Electronics and Communication Engineering 3rd year and 4th year students. The time allotted for this study covers only 1 semester. Definition of terms. In order to have a common understanding on the words used in particular research, the following terms are defined as follows. Mobile communication networks. Also known as cellular networks, it is the wireless network which provides voice and data services to the mobile phones users are a type of telecommunication networks with a collection of terminals, entities, and nodes connected to each other through links that enable telecommunication between the users of the terminal. Next is the mobile phone. Mobile phone is an electronic device used for mobile telecommunication over a cellular network of specialized base stations known as cell sites. A cell phone offered full duplex communication and transferred the link when the user moves from one cell to another. Cells in cellular network vary in size, depending on how many calls are conducted within the geographic area. Smallest cells, which might have only a few blocks, are those where there's the heaviest population density and then the largest demand for service. The largest cells are most often in rural areas with a smaller population per square mile. Next is cell tower or cell sites. So houses the electronic communications equipment along with an antenna to support cellular communication in a network. Next one is base station. It is the center of each group of cells functions as the hub for those cells, not of the entire network but of that individual piece of the network. Radio frequency or RF signals are transmitted by an individual phone and received by the base station, where they are retransmitted from the base station to another mobile phone. Transmitting and receiving are done over two slightly different frequencies. Lastly, the internet means that it is a vast network that connects computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share information, communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. So to discuss the review of related literature, we will give the floor to Jover Makinano.
So thank you, Edsel. So I'm Jobber Makinano, assigned to present the review of literated literature of the study. So this chapter presents the relevant literature and studies that the researcher considered in strengthening the importance of the present study. It also represents the synthesis of the art to fully understand the research for better comprehension of the study. So in the mobile telecommunication network, according to CHI 2020, telecommunications, also known as telecom, is the exchange of information over significant distances by electronic means referring to all types of voice, data, and video transmission. As mentioned by Holland and Kellogg, that schools across the country have been forced to make hard decisions about teaching and learning during the coronavirus crisis. The digital learning presents an enormous hurdle for the millions of school-aged children in the US who lack either internet access nor or an internet-connected device or both. There is a good news. Recent data from the Pew Research Center indicates that approximately 96% of households have access have access to a mobile phone and 81% have access to a smartphone, though neither ideal nor equitable. In situations where students high uh, lack high-speed internet access or a device such as laptop or tablet phones can play a key role in the bridging the gap between the school and home. In the common mobile network used in the Philippines, in the article Premier 2016, the common mobile networks used in the Philippines are Globe, TM, and Globe, TM, Token Text, Smart, and Sun Cellular. In the article of DICT 2020 based on the recent Ookla Global Index, the Philippines has significantly improved in the internet speed, making a 216.94% increase in fixed broadband speed and a 127.82% increase in mobile internet speed from July 16 July 2016 to July 2020. According to the data, the country now registers an average of 25.07 Mbps and 16.95 Mbps for fixed broadband and mobile internet respectively. Based on the online tech reviews, the average internet speed suggested for video conferencing is around 1 to 4 Mbps, while standard definition and high definition video streaming are around 3 to 4 Mbps to 5 to 8 Mbps respectively. Voice over Internet Protocol requires only 90 to 156 kbps. It was stated in the article the ICT 2021 the Philippines moved up to the 86th spot in the global mobile internet speed rankings in January 2021 according to the data from Ookla report. This is a marked improvement from its 111th rank in the same period last 2020. For fixed broadband, the country's average download speed was recorded at 32.73 Mbps. The country the country retained its 100th ranking in the fixed broadband global average category. Additionally, compared to December 2020, the Ookla January 2021 results witnessed a 4.10% increase from 31.44 Bps fixed broadband and 14.53% from 22.15 Bps mobile. Moreover, the government had been providing assistance to telcos in their uh, infrastructure build-up by expediting the approval of tower permits as a measure to improve internet services in the ongoing pandemic. In the effectiveness of MTN for students, according to Amador 2020, synchronous classes are classes conducted in real time, and during the time, a lot of problems arise. Sadly, most of these problems are technical. Truth to be told, our country is an internet challenge country. A problem that had caused delays in implementing remote learning in general. Although internet plans exist, they are not, however, created equal. And as mentioned by Baticulonsai and Reyes 2020 in their study, most students, 79%, subscribe to postpaid internet service, but 3 out of 5 subscribers describe their connection as slow and or unreliable. Accessing the internet primarily through postpaid mobile data was still common at 19%, while most students live at home with their family during the pandemic is 78%. There were 610 or 17% who remain in their temporary residence near the school. The data showed that the availability of fast and reliable internet connection was a bigger concern than either device ownership or technical aptitude. 1 out of 10 students always or often lack basic needs such as food, water, medicine, and security.
Thank you, Jover. So we will discuss the theoretical framework. To communicate, a mobile user must be within range of base station. This has a limited range and covers only a small area around it called the cell. Hence, the alternative name of cellular networks often used for mobile networks. To cover maximum territory and ensure the users are always able to call, operators deploy thousands of cells, each equipped with antennas, um, ensuring that their cells overlap and thus never lose the current location of the users. Cell size depends on many factors such as the type of base stations used, terrain, plains or mountains, valleys, and so on. Location or installation, rural or urban areas, and population density. Cell size is also limited by the range of the mobile phone, which must be able to make the return link. And importantly, base stations have a limited transmission capacity and can only handle a certain number of simultaneous calls. This is the reason why urban areas where the population density is high and there is a significant number of communications, cells tend to be numerous and small handles are even only tens of meters away apart. In rural areas where the population density is much lower, the cell size is much larger, sometimes up to several kilometers but rarely exceeding more than 10 kilometers. It is important to emphasize that reducing the power of the signal emitted by the base stations in turn reduces the coverage of the cells. Improving the network's ability to carry voice calls or data traffic thus necessary involves increasing the number of base stations. Now, for the conceptual framework, again, it will be discussed by Makinano Jover.
So the next is the conceptual framework. The conceptual framework of the study provides an outline on how to conduct the research to determine the effectiveness of mobile communication network to ECE students of Negro State University in terms of online classes, and it shows the reader how various elements work together to facilitate research and a clear understanding of results. It explains the key concepts or variables as well as the relationships between them that must be understood. So Figure 2 presents the conceptual framework of the study. The mobile telecommunication network as independent variable. So it pertains to a way in which can learn through e-learning or distance learning using telecommunications. So uh, in education, the telecommunication generally refers to use personal computers to send and receive information through a school-wide network or standard telephone lines. And the effectiveness of online class as independent variable refers to the quality of education that the students acquire during online classes. Students may encounter a lot of problems during online classes, just like internet connection as a common problem that students are facing right now. And this research aims to know how mobile network impacts students during online classes. And the last variable is moderator variable that includes the location of respective place of the students and the availability of mobile network. Since not everyone is living in urban areas, some of the students are living in rural areas and they will just have limited access of internet or there is no internet access at all depending on what mobile network you are using. So the next is the research methodology. So the research design, the researchers used a qualitative and descriptive survey method in conducting this study and interpreted the gathered data quantitatively. In the research respondents, the respondents of the study were the Bachelors of Science in Electronics and Communication Engineering currently enrolled at Negro State University main campus 2 during the school year 2020-2021, particularly the third year and fourth year students. The researchers employed the questionnaires for the total of population of 30 students from Negro Central State University main campus 2. In the research environment, since the researchers are not able to conduct survey in school, the study was conducted online through Google Forms and Messenger. In the research instruments, the researcher uses questionnaires. The questionnaire contains questions that identifies the respondent's current usage of mobile telecommunication network. In the data gathering procedure, the researchers adapted a questionnaire that was used in this study. After the researchers adopted a set of questionnaire, they gathered and collected data. The researchers provided a letter requesting permission to conduct a survey for the study. After the permission was granted, the researchers administered the data gathering by forwarding a survey questionnaires to the respondents of the study through Messenger or Google Forms. So that would be all, sir. Thank you and have a good day.